Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. It is a brand new month, so here's everything I picked up on Blu-ray and 4K Ultra HD for July 2022. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guy 365. Okay, July 2022 is officially in the books, so it's time to go over everything I picked up on Blu-ray and 4K for this past month. And wow, it was a heavy month for new purchases. New releases alone were really quite frequent and, a little more so than your average month. And of course, you also had the Criterion Collection 50% off Blu-ray and 4K from the Criterion label. So, wow, I mean, there was a lot there. And of course, I picked up a few things that were on my wish list as far as just standard Blu-ray goes. Yeah, tons to go over, so let's not waste any time. Let's dive right in. For this one, I'm a big fan of director Richard Linklater, and I've never owned a physical copy of this, and I just really wanted to add it to my collection, and that is Everybody Wants Some. Good comedy. If you're familiar with Dazed and Confused, it's along those lines. But yeah, cast is awesome, and I'm happy we have this one. I'm not expecting a 4K down the line. In fact, I don't think any Richard Linklater films have hit the 4K format yet. But yeah, this one, check it out. It's fun, and yeah, I recommend it. This was another one. I'm a fan of the director Scott Derrickson, and this is the only film of his I haven't seen. That is The Exorcism of Emily Rose. I haven't seen it yet. Still haven't watched it. It's a blind buy. I'm going to check it out probably fairly soon, within the next week or so. So I'll let you know my thoughts. I might do a write-up over on Letterboxd. But yeah, I thought I'd pick up a Blu-ray edition of the film. And this one, I was having a discussion of this, I believe on a podcast I do, or something like that. And I realized I didn't have a copy of this in my collection, and I just wanted to, get it, and I rewatched it, and it's just as hard as it ever was. 12 Years a Slave, excellent film. Really just top tier, great acting, and just it's a hard watch. It really is, but I do recommend it highly. You see it at least once. If you don't want to own a physical copy, just rent it. But yeah, great performances in this one. I do recommend this one very highly. This was another one. It's on my is it or is it not going to get a 4K edition? That's the trouble with Blu-ray and 4K collectors these days. You have to make that tough call. But Gangs of New York, I've been on a bit of a Daniel Day-Lewis kick lately, and I owned this a long time ago, but I had to sell it off for reasons. But yeah, Blu-ray edition, I'm happy with it. It is got a stellar cast, and of course the great director Martin Scorsese. Yeah, lots going on here, and maybe one day we'll get a 4K edition. But until then, the Blu-ray is now back in the collection. I'm by nature not a religious person, but I do like to watch, occasional movies that, even though, religion's part of it. But this one I saw a long time ago, and the animation, I think even today, is stellar. I would say it's in my top 5 animation, just the style. This is a gorgeous film, and that is The Prince of Egypt. Yeah, great voice cast, and Moses parting the Red Sea is breathtaking. It really is. I would absolutely love a 4K edition of it. And it's funny, I was having a discussion a couple weeks ago. I was like, yeah, Prince of Egypt and some of the DreamWorks films really hold up. And I used to have this one, but I had to sell it once again for reasons. But yeah, I was kind of shocked that it wasn't on my shelf anymore. But yeah, I rectified that, got it from Amazon. So yeah, breathtaking animation. Watch it. It's really, really phenomenal. This next one was the movie that inspired that prior conversation about The Prince of Egypt. Once again, we were just, talking about animated films, not about Disney. But The Road to El Dorado, which I feel is very underrated. It's a good adventure movie. It has a good voice cast. And I really do believe it's underrated. And, I never owned a Blu-ray. I owned the DVD of this, but I never owned the Blu-ray for some shocking reason. But yeah, I'm going to revisit this one very, very soon, and hopefully it'll hold up. But yeah, check it out. It's a lot of fun. This was another one that was just it was like $5 on Amazon, and I also think this was a movie that came out, the right movie at the wrong time. I think it really it was just bad timing. But Treasure Planet from Disney, I really think this is another underrated animated film. And I 100% believe if this had come out in a different time period, even now, I think it would be a little bit more widely accepted. But yeah, I remember it just, oh, it's not a musical, it's not Disney, it was a whole thing. But I think it's got great visuals, and I love movies that are like fantasy space, centric kind of films. And this one scratches that itch, and it is, of course, based off of Treasure Island. So yeah, Treasure Planet, got it for $5, so I will be revisiting that one really soon. We were discussing this next one on a podcast. I never owned a physical copy of it. Adventureland. I did rewatch it. It's fine. I mean, I think I saw it like once before a long time ago. I didn't remember too much about it. But also checking this out again, I was like, yeah, okay, this is fun. It also has like Ryan Reynolds in a slightly different role. Like, he's usually Ryan Reynolds is playing Ryan Reynolds. But this one, I think he does a good job playing a different, sort of character. Still got the Ryan Reynolds in there, but it's a little bit more different this time around. But of course, yeah, it's a fun movie. And I always felt that Kristen Wiig and Bill Hader, I would have loved to see more scenes with them. I think they were actually really funny together. They bounced off each other very well. But yeah, this is a fun movie, and it's still entertaining. It really is. So check that one out. This was like the only new release that I picked up on Blu Ray. Tons of 4K and other labels, but and I got a recommendation off this. That is Pleasure. I did watch this the other day. It's interesting. It really is. It's pretty much a realistic take on the modern porn industry, and it's really, it's got some pretty heavy moments during it, but I do feel that the cast is really good, especially our main character. And the film itself, it's not an easy watch at times, but it's still something I think you should check out at least once. This is another one that, hey, where is the 4K? I have been holding out for 4K forever, but I really want to watch this again. I got it for real cheap. I think, once again, it was like $5. Wyatt Earp. I know a lot of people like to make the comparisons between Wyatt Earp and Tombstone. In my opinion, Tombstone is the superior film. That's just my opinion, but I think Wyatt Earp has more of an epic feel to it. And, of course, Kevin Costner as Wyatt Earp and Dennis Quaid as Doc Holliday. All day long, Val Kilmer is Doc Holliday for me. I mean, really, I thought he was good, but he's no Val Kilmer good. But no, still, it's a really decent film. It's a fun, Americana Western, and I really want a 4K edition of this. But in the meantime, the $5 Blu-ray will have to do. This is one that has been, once again, as Blu-ray and 4K collectors are waiting, is this going to get upgraded? And I got tired of waiting. And it was for like $40. It was for the entire collection. I have the first movie on 4K, but the Superman collection, the original Christopher Reeve movies with Superman Returns, Brandon Routh version on there. I'm a huge fan of Superman 2, especially, I know this is like unpopular to say, but I really like the original cut of Superman 2. And as of right now, I believe this is the only way you can get it on physical media. And, Superman 3, I also have a soft spot in my heart for it. We're not going to talk about Superman 4, but yeah, I wanted to watch Superman 2 for the longest time again. So I thought I would just bite the bullet. It was, once again, it was $40, not a big, investment, but, and of course the original film, it has the extended cut on here also. So that's, it's something that the original, the 4K edition only has the original theatrical and does not have the extended cut, I believe. But yeah, I'm excited to have this one again. Yeah, Superman, the Reeve films with Routh on the tail end, really awesome pickup. And as I mentioned earlier, this was the 50% off Criterion Collection sale for Barnes & Noble, and of course Amazon. Price matched a lot of these titles. And as somebody who collects Criterion, this is, my time of year. And, if you take part in these sales, you always have like, oh, I want to only get like this, and this. And of course I overindulged, as I usually do. And I picked up some recommendations. A few of these I have not seen before. But, we live for sales like this. So the first one I picked up was something I watched initially on Hulu, I think, and I really enjoyed it. And I wanted to pick it up to add it to my collection, and that was The Worst Person in the World. I talk a little bit more about this in my Criterion recommendation video I did a few weeks ago, so if you want to check that out, I won't go too much into it in this one, but I do recommend it. It's a good story, and it's just one that, you know, it has, like, of course, a modern twist to it, but I really liked it, and I'm very happy Criterion put this out on standard Blu-ray. This was on my wish list for a while, and that was Roman Polanski's Repulsion. Great psychological thriller with, you know, just really, it really has such a good, it's shot so well. The story is just very well done, and it's something that, you know, you could go back to, and it's not an easy watch. Repulsion, I would recommend this one very highly. This was another, once again, going to Richard Linklater. I never owned a physical copy of this one. I first watched it, I believe, I can't remember. I think I watched it on Netflix, or it might have been Netflix, or it might have been, no, it was before Netflix. It was way before Netflix. I think I caught it on cable. I think we're going back to cable. No, I don't know. Wherever I watched it, I wanted to get a physical copy, and Criterion has Boyhood. And yeah, this is the undertaking to put this one on film. This is if they did like a huge documentary of this one, I would absolutely watch it. I know there's extras and stuff on this, which I'll probably dive into, but you know, filming like a movie over the course of, you know, over a decade, you know, you film it at this point, and then you take a break, and then you go back when everybody's older, and then you film some more. Wow, this is an undertaking like few others have done, but yeah, Boyhood, it's a very decent film, and I think Richard Linklater is probably one of the more under-celebrated directors out there. So yeah, check that one out. This was a classic. This has been on my wish list for a while. I've seen it quite a few times. The Big Chill. You know, it's a group of friends getting together for like their you know, friend's funeral that from college and everything, and you know, it's just talking about life. And this also has a really epic soundtrack. So yeah, The Big Chill, I would watch this one. And this is one that, you know, I feel like it gets less and less recognition as time goes on. I remember when I was younger, there in you know, television and other media, people talked about this a lot more. So, you know, times, you know, advancing forward as they are, we get less people talking about it. But yeah, I would watch this one. It's really decent. It's also got a very phenomenal cast. This one was from director David Lean, and I've seen this one once. I'm going to be revisiting it, so I can't really talk too much about it because I honestly don't remember too much about it. And that is Summertime. I am a fan of the director, of course, so I'm probably going to do a write-up of this over on Letterboxd. But yeah, Summertime, I had good memories of this one, so I will be checking it out again in the near future. Once again, Richard Linklater. I own the standard Blu-ray of it, but Dazed and Confused, I wanted to get the Criterion because I wanted to dive into extras. So yeah, as I mentioned, everybody wants some earlier, which I could see that getting a Criterion down the line. But yeah, I now have a Criterion version, and you know, this film is timeless in its way, and once again, another soundtrack that is awesome. But yeah, finally have the Criterion version of that. This one was a recommendation, so I can't really talk too much about it if I've never seen it, but apparently it's right up my alley, as a good friend would you know, say. Ugetsu on the Criterion Collection. I'll do a write-up over on Letterboxd when I do watch it, but I've heard this thing is really good. It has sort of a supernatural twist to it, from what I understand. But yeah, I'll be watching this one. I might save it for October and do kind of like a old school, you know, horror thriller month for my viewing that for that particular season. But I will be watching that one very soon. This was discussed on the podcast I'm part of, and this was my very last pickup for the Criterion sale, but I just got it, you know, the last day of the month. Island of Lost Souls, based off the island Dr. Moreau. Long time since I've seen it, but I'll be revisiting it very soon. Once again, probably for the October season. But yeah, epic horror film, you know, that really just stands the test of time. So check that one out. This was another recommendation. I actually haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to be checking it out really soon. Leave Her to Heaven from the Criterion Collection. I've heard really good things. So once again, after I watch it, I'll do a write-up over on Letterboxd and let you know my thoughts. Another recommendation. I told you there were a few of these. This one appeared on Netflix, I believe, and a good friend of mine saw it and he said I would like it, so threw it in as part of the sale. Drive My Car, which is also a very recent release. if you have Netflix, go ahead and watch it over there. But me being a physical media guy, I want to watch it on disc, so I decided to wait for the Criterion version, and I'll be checking it out very, very soon. This was another movie that I think really deserves a 4K release, and it's very epic in scope, and that is The Last Emperor. You know, they very rarely make movies like this, and I think a 4K update would be just phenomenal. Hopefully one day it'll happen, but I do recommend you watch it. It is just it's like a magnificent film. So yes, The Last Emperor on Blu-ray. Another recommendation, Rouge. Once again, it's a kind of a little bit of a supernatural twist to it. But I'm anxious to check it out. I've read the summary and everything, and it just sounds like it's something I would enjoy. So I will be watching this very, very shortly. When it comes to Marlon Brando, of course he made great films. He's a great actor, but he also directed a few things. And this one is One-Eyed Jacks. I'm a fan of like just the Western and the Western genre, and this one is just really something I like to watch every 5 years or so. It's been about 5 years since I've last seen it, but as a director, he's got some talent there. So of course he acts in it, and just I think it's a really decent film, and I'm glad Criterion picks movies like this up. And it gives them a lot of care and love. And yeah, I'll be watching this one again very shortly. And the Criterion Collection released a few 4K Ultra HD Blu-rays in July. Thankfully, they were part of the sale. First up, this was an upgrade. I literally just bought the Blu-ray, I believe, last November. Sofia Coppola's The Virgin Suicides, great performances. And, it's unfortunate that the upgrade came so relatively close, but I did want to get the best version. I haven't watched it yet on 4K, but I'll be checking it out very shortly. This is another one from director Bong Joon-ho. I feel it's not an easy watch. It starts out kind of happy and jovial, but there's a lot of like satire, and even the ending has while the ending's ultimately a good one, to get there you have to go through a little bit of roughness. That is Okja. I know a lot of people aren't a huge fan of it, but once again, I'm a fan of the director who did Parasite, Memories of a Murder, and other films that are just really just excellent. And Okja, it's really good. Once again, it has some hard moments to watch, but I think some of the performances are a little bit out there. But ultimately, I really enjoy it, so check that one out. What can I say about this next one? It's classic. It's Martin Scorsese, Raging Bull on 4K. Wow, I did a review for the channel if you want to hear my thoughts on it, but I think Criterion did an excellent job of the transfer. It looks just fantastic. And of course, this is classic Scorsese. This is the movie, in my opinion, that made Scorsese, like, as, it almost started establishing his legendary, talent as a filmmaker. And of course, he goes on to direct many other iconic films, but Raging Bull, excellent film on 4K. And this is another one that I had seen like once before, but revisiting it on 4K from the Criterion Collection, Devil in a Blue Dress. Denzel is fantastic in this. He is absolutely fantastic. The transfer is great. It is a beautiful looking disc. Criterion knocked this one out of the park. And I love a good, thriller, just a crime drama, especially when they're set in like classic, old Hollywood, Los Angeles. This is an excellent film. I would pair this one with LA Confidential. I would do like a double feature. In all honesty, I think these two would be great together. But Devil in a Blue Dress, absolutely great 4K from the Criterion Collection.
I want to take a quick moment to talk about MoviePalette.com. Over at MoviePalette, they have thousands of films with a unique look, breaking down a film frame by frame, presenting it with a corresponding color, putting them together in one unique piece of art. They have many of the latest releases, such as The Batman, films like Titanic, Spider-Man No Way Home, Alien, and thousands more are available to choose from. For me, I opted as my first piece, Blade Runner 2049. As I am a big fan of the film, I could easily point out moments in the film on the piece. If you're interested in seeing for yourself, head over to MoviePalette.com and scroll through your favorite films and see what speaks to you. Viewers of the channel can get an extra 15% off by using the promo code MovieGuy15 in the checkout. Head on over to moviepalette.com and see your favorite movies in a new way.
Now, as far as the 4K Ultra HD releases, there were a lot of new ones coming out in July, and this is kind of a huge haul for me in this particular month. Things slowed down a little bit in August, but September and October, wow. Just save up your nickels and dimes, everybody. So for starters, of course, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Beautiful, beautiful 4K, and this is a crazy movie. It really is. I just recently rewatched it. I watched it in theaters, and then I watched it again at home for the review for the channel, and I just watched it just for fun the other day. Still, I mean, great film, and I would check it out. And once again, I do most of the ones that you're going to see in the 4K buy pile. I did a review on the channel, so check that out if you're interested in my thoughts on those particular films. Edge of Tomorrow, the 4K edition. Beautiful. I think it's a reference disc. Really is phenomenal. And the Steelbook edition is just top notch. Great sci-fi action film. Tom Cruise. You know, just fun movie. It is fun, and it's something that has a great rewatchability. So yeah, Edge of Tomorrow on 4K. This I did a review, just in comparison to the existing 4K. The Sony recently released Men in Black with the Dolby Vision grading. Classic film. It really is a good sci-fi adventure. Yeah, and it's just, you know, I did some, like I said, I did comparisons between this and the old transfer. Spoiler alert, not huge difference, but it is subtle enough that some people would really enjoy it. But the Steelbook edition is now currently out from Sony. This one is, you know, a film that was just, you know, it's just a complete blind buy. I had heard recommendations about it. I did a review for the channel, and that is Angel Heart. Really young Mickey Rourke, Robert De Niro. Oh, this is a good noir thriller set post World War II, and it's got some dark stuff to it, but you know, compared to today, it's not as bad. But I guess back in the 80s when it came out, or was it? It might have, you know, held a little more weight, but I still think very, very interesting. And I am a big fan of, you know, crime thrillers, the kind of dramas. So yeah, this one was right up my alley. I enjoyed it immensely. Oh, and that's a Best Buy exclusive Steelbook. I'm sure they'll do like a wide release at some point. This was another blind buy. I am a fan of the show, sort of. Like, I've seen a couple of the seasons, you know, various episodes, so I thought I would dive in for the movie. Best Buy exclusive, 4K only. You can pick this up at Best Buy. The 4K edition is only available as a Steelbook. I did watch it. Sure, it's like an episode of Bob's Burgers. I didn't think it was anything phenomenal. I don't know if I'm going to ultimately keep this one long term, but as of right now, it'll stay on the shelf. But I'm sure fans of real fans of the show are really going to enjoy it. So yeah, the 4K edition only available at Best Buy. This was a recommendation. I didn't watch it yet, but I might do a review for the channel. We'll see if you, let me know in the comments if you want me to do a review for it. God Told Me To. I don't know too much about it. I know it's a bit of a thriller. Some supernatural stuff happens. But yeah, I've heard it's a really decent film, and Blue Underground normally does great jobs on their 4K. I just did a video a couple weeks ago about Blue Underground stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to checking out God Told Me To. I recently did a review of this, literally like 4 days ago or so. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. It got a 4K release from Kino Lorber. Transfer looks good. The movie is very stylized. It was filmed on various different cameras and techniques that were, you know, implemented. So I think the 4K is the best the movie's ever going to look. It's not going to be flashy as some of the more recent releases, of course, but I think fans of the film will really enjoy it. And if you want to hear more of my thoughts, check out my review over on the channel. And the latest from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, is a Best Buy exclusive Steelbook. I have all the Steelbooks of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so of course I had to get this one. I like the artwork a little bit more on the Walmart edition, I believe. But I'm happy to have it in my collection. I think it was a very solid 4K. Did a review if you want to hear my thoughts more about it. And I also like the film. I do. I think it's like mid-tier Marvel as far as quality, maybe slightly above. But, you know, it's something I will, of course, go back to. And I am a fan of the MCU. Shout Factory released a few things on 4K, which didn't really get a whole lot of attention or fanfare. But I've, once again, in the circles I travel, a lot of people recommended these, and I'm looking forward to checking these out in the very, very near future. And that is The Message, starring Anthony Quinn. I know roughly what it's about, But I'll go into this very open-minded, of course, and I like a good epic. So at the end of the day, if it's a great film, even with the religious overtones, I can still find a lot of enjoyment. So I'm looking forward to checking it out. And another Anthony Quinn film, Lion of the Desert. I heard really good things about it, so I'll once again be watching it. And it's a shame Shout Factory released both of these films with no slipcovers. I know some of their releases, like the recent release of Happy Death Day 1 and 2, didn't get slips. It stinks, but I'm ultimately interested in the film itself, so I'm looking forward to watching it and experiencing it for the first time. This is a classic that's classic. It's a 90s sci-fi film. I did a review recently, Species. I think transfer is excellent. It's really cool. I mean, it's funny because it's been about 5 or 10 years. No, it's been about 5 years since I watched it. And the 4K is really good. I think it's a very solid upgrade from Shout Factory. They did a wonderful job, and it does have a slip. So yeah, check that out. Species is now on 4K. This was a blind buy, and ultimately I enjoyed it. It's an adventure film, which, as I talked about in the review, I really like a good adventure. And that is The Lost City with Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum. And I think it's interesting. And the 4K is really good. It's a really solid transfer from Paramount. They did a wonderful job on the disc. And I talk a little bit more about it in the review. And I do, if you're hesitant about it, it is over on Paramount Plus if you want to rent it first, or stream it first and then decide. But I liked it. I think it was fun. So yeah, The Lost City on 4K. I am a big comic book fan, and I'm more of a, when it comes to DC, I know a lot of people love Superman and Batman, and I do too. But for me, I'm a big Green Lantern fan. I love it, and with DC Animation doing the Green Lantern movie, of course I had to buy it. Green Lantern, Beware My Power, Best Buy exclusive steelbook. I did watch it. It was okay. It scratched that Green Lantern itch for me. I didn't agree with some of the narrative choices. And DC Animation looks a little rough at times, as we all know, but I am still happy I picked it up, and maybe one day we'll see more Green Lantern love from just everybody. But I still really enjoyed it, even though it was. I do like Jon Stewart as a Green Lantern. Of course, I also love Guy Gardner and Hal Jordan, Kyle Rayner. I love the whole Green Lantern core, so I would like to see a little bit more of those characters in it. But yeah, still very, very decent film. It's not too bad. It had some issues, but it was okay. They released a couple, Kino Lorber released a couple of Stanley Kubrick films this month on 4K. The first one is The Killing. Absolutely recommend it. It is a fantastic crime drama, and it just has so many good things about it. Cast and story, really epic film, and Kino Lorber did a very good job on the transfer. Lionsgate has been re-releasing a few of their recent movies on 4K, and I did like it. I'm a big fan of the Westerns. The Kid, I like this. Unfortunately, it does not have any HDR grading, which I feel they were a little low-key about. I think if I would have known they didn't have any HDR, I might have just waited for a really good sale on this. It was still like $20, not the end of the world, but because they're recently releasing a lot of those, some of their catalog stuff on 4K. So definitely wait for specs, official specs on that if you're looking to upgrade. As I said, I do enjoy the movie, but I would have liked, maybe those specs to be a little bit more, forthcoming before I picked it up. But yeah, it's still really enjoyable. And finally, recent release from the Arrow video line. I'm a big fan of the film, Flatliners on 4K. I did a full review over on the channel. Yeah, this is a really good thriller. I think it holds up extremely well, and it's a very strong cast. And I actually really dig the slipcover on this. I think it's pretty awesome. And Arrow Video does a wonderful job on the transfer. You want to hear more of my thoughts? Once again, check out the channel. I did a full review. It actually came out as of this week. So yeah, check out Flatliners from Arrow Video on 4K. So that is everything I picked up on Blu Ray and 4K for July 2022. Now it's your turn in the comments section below. What did you pick up this month, and what are you looking forward to in August? I know I am very much looking forward to Michael Mann's Heat. I can't wait, and I look forward to the channel for that review. Yeah, I'm looking forward. And once again, September, October, whew, lots going on. So in the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.